So firstly, my name's Ian Findlay Walsh. I'm the programme convener for the Masters in Sound Design and Audiovisual Practice in the music subject area at the University of Glasgow. I'm also the convener of postgraduate studies in music, so I kind of oversee PhD study and top postgraduate studies. So we have this Masters in Sound Design and Audiovisual Practice. We have an M.Mus in musicology, and we have an MSc in music industries as well. So I kind of take a bit to do with that side of things in the music subject area in the institution, and I also directly convene this course. So I do a lot of teaching on this course, but I kind of work with three other colleagues to deliver this MSc. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the programme and about, well, I suppose about Glasgow University in general first, and then I'll talk through some of the core and optional courses that we do as part of this programme. So a little bit about the university. First, just to give you a kind of flavour, there's a nice picture here of the main building in the university on a sunny day, which is not that rare, but relatively speaking, quite rare. Yeah, some of the teaching that or some of the classes that we do on the course take place in the main building, right in the middle of it. You'll see a kind of almost a kind of cylindrical structure in the middle, and that houses the university concert hall, above which there are two studios which are kind of linked to the concert hall. So we do a fair bit of work between those studios and the concert hall itself in the main building. But a lot of the other teaching that we do takes place on University Gardens, which is across the road in a kind of Victorian terraced house, just down the road from this building here. Okay, so University of Glasgow is very old. It was established in 1451 and is a significant institution within the kind of ecology of higher education, is consistently ranked in the top 100 of the world's universities, and was named in the Times Higher Education kind of rankings as University of the Year last year. University of Glasgow is a member of the Russell Group, which is a group of research-intensive UK universities. And I suppose what that means is that we place a particular focus and interest on research as a way of learning. So taking a kind of position of inquiry and trying to use a kind of questioning approach to learning in order to answer questions and meet challenges. So that's a kind of general ethos of the university and of the Russell Group. The institution's a major employer in the city, more than 9,000 staff, including 3,400 research and teaching staff, including myself. And it's also, I suppose the campus is a kind of significant building in this part of the city. So in the West End of Glasgow, the university campus is highly visible and is also large in scale. So it kind of takes up quite a big part of the West End of Glasgow, and in some ways provides a lot of character to the kind of local area. So a bit about the student experience. We've got nearly 35,000 students from more than 140 countries. So very much a kind of international institution, both in terms of staff and in terms of student cohort. We're ranked second in the Russell Group for teaching and student satisfaction. That's from 2020. We kind of have a diverse student base, but also kind of work hard to maintain standards and making sure that people are happy in their studies. There are a lot of student clubs and societies, and there's a kind of vibrant community and culture of learning across the institution, and certainly within the music subject area, which has kind of a lot of extracurricular groups and opportunities to present work and to make work collaboratively. We offer study abroad opportunities in 180 destinations. So there are strong links with the city, but also with international institutions and partners. Kind of more on this general context of research, talking about research with impact. We have more than 2,600 researchers with annual research funding of about £168 million. So the kind of staff and postgraduates within the institution will work to bring research funding and research partnerships into the university and just keep it, maintain its position as this kind of hub of ideas and innovation. 81% of our research is judged to be internationally excellent or better. That's from the Research Excellence Framework Report in 2014, which comes out every 4 years, and this one's delayed, so there'll be new information out on that soon. And our research beacons are cross-disciplinary areas of research excellence, and so we have a focus on precision medicine and chronic diseases, on One Health, on addressing inequalities, and on nano and quantum world, and on cultural and creative economies and future life. So these are just kind of some of the focal areas of research in the institution. The university also houses some well-known art collections in the Hunterian Gallery, which is on campus in the main building, including the world's largest display of Whistler and Macintosh artifacts. The collections are kind of a kind of point of interest within the institution, and you'll see if you're on campus that the building and its collections have a kind of historical interest and attract a bit of kind of interest from the tourism sector and things like that. A little bit more about context, and then I'll get on to the specifics of the programme itself. So the music subject area sits within the College of Arts, which houses other subject areas. So we have history of art, theatre, film and television, screen studies, and various other subject areas that we work closely with. And the College of Arts, as a kind of college within the institution, is ranked 62nd in the world for arts and humanities. We have 10 specialist research centres within the College of Arts, world-leading collections, as I've just described, and a thriving postgraduate community with over 800 PGT students. So that 800 postgraduate taught, that's what PGT stands for, includes people studying within the music subject area, but also those across the other subjects as well. So that's some information about the university, about the kind of building, ethos, context, environment. And I'll just talk through a little bit of detail about the MSc itself. So as I say, the MSc in Sound Design and Audiovisual Practice is housed within the music subject area. There are some other master's level programs, there's PhD level study, and there are 3 undergraduate programs as well. So we deliver quite a wide range of programs and courses, and this one kind of connects with those. So This Masters provides advanced training in creative practice with sound and audiovisual technologies. The programme's designed to offer topics relevant to practicing musicians, artists, and the creative industries. And we run courses in sound shaping and design, audiovisual composition, field recording, creative and experimental approaches to technology, including kind of building electronics, live performance as it relates to sound design, interdisciplinary perspectives on sound, and sonic aesthetics. Through the course, you also develop an individual portfolio of sonic and audiovisual artwork based on your particular skills and interests. And on the programme, we kind of start with a skills-based approach, I suppose, developing skills in particular ways of working with sound and audiovisual media. But as you move through the course, there are opportunities to kind of focus your learning in the direction that you want to. So if you want to kind of get really into soundscape composition, or working with moving image, or working with electronics, then in the later stages of the program, you can kind of design a project of your own and be mentored and supervised through making that project. So we'll develop an individual portfolio of sonic and audiovisual artwork based on your skills and interests. And I suppose most of the courses on the program culminate in the development of making something. So it's very practice focused, the program as a whole and the courses within it. But we take this kind of research-based, inquiring approach to making things, and that's how we tend to move through each of the different elements of the program. From that, within the course, there are opportunities to present your work, to present the things that you've made or the ideas that you've had, both within the university. We regularly have live events within the university in the main building that we're looking at, and elsewhere. And we also have strong links to local festivals and venues and publications, which I'll talk a bit more about shortly. In general, I suppose the University of Glasgow is housed within a city that is very active in terms of music making and the presentation of that music making. So the course is kind of connected to a wider context of music festivals, venues, collaborative work, which the course can kind of plug you into to a certain degree. In terms of the approach to teaching, it depends. This varies from course to course within the programme, but generally we are working with a variety of approaches. So we have practical workshops within the audio lab, which is in the music building on University Gardens. Those tend to be in numbers of between 10 and 20 people. We have small group seminars and workshops where we're kind of building things or making things. In taught sessions in classes, there's a fair amount of one-to-one supervision where we'll identify a member of staff that's particularly well suited to what you're working with, and you're supported one-to-one in making your work. Practical sessions, seminars, one-to-one supervision. We also have regular discussion and listening sessions where we just kind of listen together and discuss what we hear, talk about approaches to making and things like that. Generally, we try to encourage everyone on the course to experiment creatively and critically, to kind of work outside your comfort zone and challenge maybe the established practices that you have developed previously, but also to draw on them and find ways to kind of build upon them. So we try and support people on the course to develop their distinctive style and voice. And as I say, we provide regular opportunities to share work and ideas on the course and out with it. These are the people who teach on this course. There's myself. I'm a sound artist and researcher. I'm particularly interested in critical listening studies and in immersive environments and in field recording practices and environmental sound. So I lead some of the courses on the programme. Some of them are team taught and some of them are led by these other people that you see before you. So next along the line we have Thomas Butler. Thomas is a multimedia composer who writes instrumental music and presents it in kind of multimedia formats, so using moving image or using lighting or theatrical staging or things like that. We have Dr. Louise Harris, who's an audiovisual composer and theorist, who leads most of the audiovisual focused courses and kind of has this as her specialism. And then last but not least, we've got Dr. Sebastian Lexer, who is a performer, a pianist, and a kind of developer of music technology. So it's someone who builds software and hardware, makes instruments and augments instruments through electronics. So these are some of the faces that you'll become familiar with on the course. And yeah, each one of them leads different parts of the programme. So I'll talk through the course structure a little bit, just starting with the core courses, the things that everybody does, and then I'll talk a little bit about the optional courses after that. I realise I'm kind of bombarding everyone with information. Hopefully it's all useful and interesting, and yeah, once I've kind of talked through the course structure and things like that, we can have more of a discussion or question and answer session and do that. So the core courses on the programme are as follows, and this is roughly chronological. So sound shaping and design is the first course that you do. This is a team taught course, and it really exists to develop a range of skills in working in sound design from the ground up. So we look at different strategies for sound design, and we look at different platforms for doing it. Generally on the course we engage with Max MSP as a kind of non-linear platform for working with audio, and we also work with digital audio workstations, generally Reaper, and some other platforms like Super Collider. I should say that there is no, some of you may be really familiar with those platforms and some of you may be completely unfamiliar with those platforms. We have some preferences in terms of the platforms that we teach from, but we don't encourage students on the course to move to these platforms and abandon the ones that they're used to. So you're kind of encouraged to simultaneously move out of your comfort zone and learn new approaches and new platforms, but also to bring with you the expertise that you already have, if that's relevant. So some people will work on Ableton Live, some people will be working on Pro Tools or something else. But in sound shaping and design, we start out working with Reaper, which is a standard digital audio workstation, and Max MSP, which is a kind of modular platform for sound design. That course is team taught, so I teach bits of it, and the other people just mentioned teach bits of it as well. And in that way, we, over the course of a kind of 12-week period, give you a starting point in a wide range of skills and approaches to sound design, sound shaping, working with, composing with audio, essentially. So I think one of the good things about the program generally, and one of the useful things about sound shaping and design as a course, is that we cater to people from a wide range of backgrounds. So usually we get people on the program from music backgrounds, maybe from music technology backgrounds, but also from theatre backgrounds, or electronics and engineering, or fine art, or various other things. So we don't look at this as a kind of follow-on from a music technology degree, or from a music kind of composition or something else degree. We look at it as a place to bring together lots of different starting points, and to give everyone a kind of grounding in advanced techniques in these areas. So on sound shaping and design, we kind of build this range of skills from the ground up. We look at Max MSP, we look at Reaper, and we also, while we're developing skills and making things, we're also getting into the habit of taking this kind of like research-based inquiring approach to working with audio. So reading and listening a lot, and discussing not only a range of skills, but also ideas and theories that relate to them. So simultaneously developing the skills, but also developing the kind of critical understanding and vocabulary and skills to kind of constructively question what we're doing. Okay, and yeah, I suppose the final thing to say is that sound shaping and design is designed to lay the groundwork for all the other courses that you do. So it's it's a 40 credit course, so it's more substantial than some of the other ones, but it's there to kind of get everyone orientated, so that we can move through the other courses on the program. I'll talk about those now. Oh yeah, so core courses, we've got sound shaping and design, field recording sound in place, which is a smaller course, it's 20 credits, audiovisual composition, creating with technology, which is kind of electronics and making things, and the portfolio, which, as I mentioned earlier on, is a kind of self-directed project through which you're mentored to make a substantial bit of work. You'll notice there that the portfolio is worth 60 credits, so that's about a third of the degree mark is the portfolio work, and that happens in the kind of final third, usually the summer term of the course. So those are the core courses that everybody does. The optional courses within the MSc are Sonic Art Performance, which is really about exploring particular approaches to presenting your work. And again, that can kind of follow your own interests. So people might be really interested in installation work, or work for screen, or multi-channel spatial audio. But through that course, you develop skills to present your work with sound and audiovisual media at a high level. Sonic Art Aesthetics and Criticism is more about kind of listening, reading, writing, and getting into a bit more depth and detail with some of the issues and arguments and discourse around the practices that we engage with. So elements of sound studies, elements of philosophy, elements of critical writing. But yeah, that's kind of a text-based outcome to that course. So those are the two optional courses within the MSc, but you can also choose to pick neither of those and to pick a subject or subjects from other areas within music. So you can choose to do one of the courses from the musicology MUS or within the MSc in music industries, or indeed from elsewhere in the school. So you could look to other subject areas and do a course or two from there if that's how you wanted to go about it. And that can be quite an interesting way to to kind of balance out the work that you're doing on the MSc. So optional courses: performance, or aesthetics and criticism, or other courses across the different subject areas in the school. So I'll talk about the individual courses in a bit more detail. I've talked about sound shaping and design, 40 credit course, building a range of skills from the ground up and establishing a basis from which to engage with the other courses, while starting to think about theory and ideas as well, and to write critically about the work that you undertake and its relationship to other existing works and related ideas. So we discuss issues of sound design aesthetics, concepts relating to sonic image, acousmatic theory, electronic and electroacoustic music, and so on. Field recording sound and place, another core course. As I've said, this is worth 20 credits, so it's slightly smaller than sound shaping and design. And through field recording sound and place, we, as it kind of suggests, we engage in the practice of environmental recording, so recording open spaces, indoor, outdoor spaces, but using the activity of recording to think about sonic experience, sound in everyday life, and to kind of investigate relations between sound, listening, and environment. So as with the other courses, the focus is on making things. So we'll go on sound walks, we'll make field recordings, and we'll use those recordings to generate soundscape compositions or other forms of work that allow us to kind of explore environmental sound. Audiovisual composition, another core course. This is really focused on working with audio and video, sound and image simultaneously. Usually moving image, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. And what we're interested in audiovisual composition is exploring how sound and image relate to each other, kind of on their own terms, and how we construct pieces of work where we think about the sound and visual aspect of the work as being of equal perceptual relevance, equal importance. We work with software such as Jitter, Adobe Premiere, and we take some of the things that we've engaged with through sound shaping and design and kind of start to open up ways of working with audiovisual media. Again, we do a bit of theory and reading and discussion around some of the kind of issues and ideas that emerge around this kind of area of practice. And the course culminates in making some work and presenting it. Creating with technology, another core course. This is a kind of hands-on physical computing based course, which is about learning the basics of working with simple electronics and microcontrollers and building things from scratch with those physical components. So like all the other courses, this is very much involved in experimentation. So using the process of making things, in this case, using electronics in order to explore new ideas and new interfaces. So you work on this course, you work with Sebastian to build things that you can use in, I don't know, an installation setting, or in a performance setting, or in another kind of setting. But yeah, kind of engaging with electronics, building hardware, and building interfaces that might suggest particular ways of working with sound, with audiovisual media. Optional courses, as I've said, there's Sonic Art Performance and there's Aesthetics and Criticism. I've talked briefly about both of those, and about the option to choose optional courses from other courses in the subject area and other courses across the college and indeed the school. And then that really takes in the first 2 semesters, so sound shaping and design, and usually another 1 or 2 courses kind of run in semester 1, which is roughly speaking late September to December. Then January to about March, you do the other core courses and one of the optional ones, and then during the summer you kind of engage in developing a portfolio. So the structure is such that by the time you get to around now in the year, actually kind of April, May, through the other courses that you've done, you've kind of developed some ideas and skills which will now allow you to make this more substantial bit of work. So in the portfolio, you can explore any aspect of working within sound design or audiovisual practice through the development of your individual portfolio with the help of in-depth one-to-one supervisory support. And based on the proposed project that you come up with, you're kind of allocated a supervisor that is best suited to kind of mentor you through the process of making that project. The portfolio is intended as a practical preparation for your next steps after your master's, providing you with the opportunity to develop your skills in a particular area or areas of interest. So the idea is that having made your portfolio, you emerge from the MSc with a kind of body of work which is at an advanced level in the particular area that you want to focus on, and that ideally will help you take the steps that you want to take after you completed the course. Usually throughout the year, we have kind of informal performances. So at the end of each of these courses that I've talked about, we'll have a kind of class show and tell or a concert situation where people can present their work to each other and talk about it. But we also have more formal kind of performance and presentation events within the university, which are public facing and which are kind of optional, but which people on the MSc are encouraged to present work at. So usually we would present MSc work, PhD work, work by staff, and work by visiting artists and researchers, kind of just in together, which can be really useful just in terms of hearing your work in the company of others, but also in terms of getting a sense of what everyone else is doing, who some good collaborators might be, or who it might be useful to work with or engage with in some way. So just fostering a kind of a creative community, I suppose, that is engaging in these individual areas of sonic practice in order to kind of push forward and generate new ideas, new ways of working. So that's, in a formal sense, that's the course. The core courses, the optional courses, and the kind of formal and informal presentation opportunities around it. We have weekly listening and discussion events where we just, in a relatively unstructured way, just bring things to listen to, talk about them, and learn about them together. We also have a wider kind of reading group across the music postgraduate community. So again, PhDs, musicologists, sound design and audiovisual people, and music industries people. And usually some composers in there as well. So a reading group where that kind of music community get together and discuss ideas and readings. We have guest lectures and masterclasses through the year. People just visiting to tell us about what they do. Within the university, we present regular live music events. There's an organisation within music at Glasgow called Creative Practice Research in Music, CPRIM, and that organisation is active in putting on gigs, concerts, festivals, things like that. One of the things we run is the Glasgow Electronic and Audiovisual Media Festival, GLEAM, which runs usually once a year, if not more. And there's the Sound Thought Postgraduate Conference and Festival, which is organised by music postgraduates and usually is housed in the Centre for Contemporary Arts in the city, and sometimes other music venues there as well. We've also got really good kind of links with national and international festivals and events, arts organisations within the city. So notably, in terms of this course, this programme, there's the Radiophrenia Festival, the Sonica Festival, the Counterflows Festival, and the BBC Tectonics Festival, all of which run annually, and all of which present work by staff and students on this programme. So these are excellent platforms for presenting your work, and also, I suppose, really interesting context for presenting work. I think in every case with those festivals, the curatorship of these events is in itself a kind of interesting experimental creative practice in itself. So sometimes we'll get people from these festivals to come in and talk to us about how they go about their work, and as I say, they're really good opportunities to present work that you may have made on this course. In terms of career prospects, I think alumni from the MSc, there are kind of clear pathways into high-level careers in broadcast media, digital media, into developing your practice as an artist or a practitioner, if that's what you want to do, into further research, doctoral research, research and teaching in a university setting, and also into other kind of types of education related to sound design and audiovisual practice. People who do these courses regularly go on to become, to work in sound design, to work in broadcast media, work in the BBC within Glasgow or out with. Some of them go on to work within arts organisations and event programming, production, curation. Some of them go into research. Some of them go into careers kind of out with and indirectly linked to the work that goes on here. But I think in the majority of cases, people moving through this programme go on to pursue work which relates directly to it in these kind of areas. That's kind of it, really. Hopefully that's not too too much information, or and hopefully that gives you a relatively clear sense of the kind of structure and architecture of the program. Yeah, the music subject area within the university is kind of highly present and visible. We get to do a lot of things, we get to make a lot of noise. And as the convener of this program, but also of postgraduate study, I'm kind of really motivated to foster a community within this course and beyond it, where the postgraduate people in music are kind of learning together and yeah, challenging each other. So that's what we try and do. We'll move on to questions in a minute, but if you have any questions that you want to ask after this session, then I'll leave this slide up, and you can yeah, you can also feel free to email me and ask me anything directly in that way.